Hey, welcome back and howdy to Cars and Cows. It is Friday morning up here in the shop doing a little piddling, doing a little cleaning, and working on this old header panel again today. Hopefully today we can get a lot done on it. That's my plan anyway. So let me turn this camera around here and I'll show you kind of what I got going on. Yeah, the first thing I'm going to show you is what I've been doing this morning. I've said before I'm kind of a wannabe machinist. And after I bought this old Bridgeport, I went to the Harbor Freight and got me this roll around cabinet here to keep all my milling parts with, machine parts, whatever you want to call it, tools, machine tools and stuff. But over the the past, I've had this thing, I don't know, at least 10 years, I guess. But in them 10 years I've owned it, I made the mistake of leaving that lid open. Well, all them years of grinding dust and dirt and dust just from the air, you can imagine what that looked like in there. And not only that, here, I don't know, it's been a while back, that bottle of Dicom got turned over in there and made a heck of a mess. And so I've been up here this morning cleaning and organizing. And I had to flip that mat around on the backside of it. It's got the remnants of the dried up Dicom over it. But I come up here and I pulled everything out and cleaned everything up good and put it back. But from this day forward, I will be leaving that top closed. Keep all the dust and dirt out of it. My wife, here a while, I don't know, back before the Tri-5 Nationals, so that was back in August, late July, went and got me, she tried this stuff out. We're not sponsored by them, but this stuff really works. And she buys it at the Dollar Tree, I think. We got a 16-foot enclosed trailer we use for when we go to the shows selling our Backroads Fabrications parts. And you know how a white trailer, after it sits a while, the old black streaks get on it? Well, I tried everything. You used to have to buff it. I used to try to use white wall cleaner, bleach, and everything to get them streaks off. And what I would normally have to wind up doing would be buffing it out with Meguiar's what's it called? Cleaner wax and a little old hand buffer, one of them little electric hand buff jobs. That'd be the only way I could get them streaks out. And she bought that stuff there, and it works. That's the first thing I've ever used to really take them streaks out of a trailer. Then after I got it all cleaned up, I went and put me some of that Meguiar's wax on there, spray wax, and shined her up real good. So not only does it look pretty, it smells pretty. That wax smells good. So yeah, I'm gonna keep that lid closed from now on. Keep all that dirt and grime out of it. But it sure needed cleaning. I should have took a picture of it, what it looked like before I started. And I had a bunch of junk in there I had to throw away too, collecting over the years. So anyway, without any further ado, let's go here and see what we got going on with this header panel. And one other thing was my son, I think I told you, got me this Milwaukee leaf blower for Christmas, little battery operated job, and I've been blowing the shop out, man. That thing's a trick. It works good. So I sure appreciate him getting that for me for Christmas. Been wanting one. It's gonna be handy blowing gutters out and blowing leaves away from the house, all that good stuff. But it's really good about blowing the shop out. Saves all that sweeping. Of course, I'll still have to sweep a little bit here and there, but it sure speeds it up, makes it better, gets all the dust out of here. Just open them doors up and blow it out. Works good. So where I left you last time, I told you I'd watched Puddin' Creek, and he took some kind of paper. I don't know what it was, and he he was making that cross member for the bad coop he's building, and he was making some pie shapes or something. But anyway, he took that paper. I think it could have been like masking paper or something, like you mask a car off with. I didn't have none of that, and he laid it like up in that crack, and he took a ballpoint pen and traced it. Worked really good. Of course, he took, after he made it and cut it out, he put it on a piece of cardboard, some kind of, it wasn't card. I don't know what kind of board it was. I don't think it's actually cardboard, but I didn't really see the need of that. And I didn't have none of that paper, but I had one went and borrowed some wrapping paper left over from Christmas that my wife had, and I clamped my lines down. I had reference lines here. So what I done, I had laid this after I cut it out. I had laid it up here, and I got these reference points where this piece of angle comes down there where it's bent or broke, and I marked them. I took me some duct tape on this back side here, where this piece of 1/2 inch bar stock would lay there, and I took my pen and on both sides of that bar stock, I drew lines all the way across where I'd have a reference point to lay that paper. And like I said, I got a piece of duct tape where that lays right on the edge of that on both ends, and then I clamped it down where it can't move. And I took me a Milwaukee Sharpie. And I just laid up here and I just started tracing it out. It might have done better if I'd have laid that on a piece of cardboard. I got some packing board I use sometimes for templates, but I didn't really see the need of it. I figured this would be good enough. It's not perfect, but I can tell where I'm at. So I'm going to take and I'm going to experiment first. I'm going to mark it in 2-inch increments and see if I can do it like that. I'll cut it, split it down to the line, probably go a little past the line. And then this brake I made, I know you can buy them wider. Irwin, I think, makes them, and there may be some other companies that make them. I don't know. And Raleigh was over here yesterday, and he said he had a pair of them. But I made these. I cut these out an inch wide. I didn't know if 2 inches would be too much, especially when because that does have a little bit of a radius to it. So anyway, I'm gonna start marking these out 2-inch increments, and I'll take my cutoff wheel and split them, and then try it with them pliers. I may use this piece here and grind it down a little sharper, more of an angle where I can lay it on the line for it to bend good and sharp, and then lay my pliers up in there and bend it. So I'm going to try that, and we'll see what happens. So hang on a minute. All right. Well, I guess my whirligig was running backwards a while ago when I was cutting these out, because what I meant to do was cut them in 2-inch increments, and I started out cutting them in 1 inch, but I cut that one there. It's 2-inch. What I done, and I took my little piece here, block of metal, and I kind of beveled that back, sharpened it up pretty. It ain't sharp, but it's pretty sharp, and I got it clamped down. I'm gonna try to do this with a 2-inch in the beginning. See what that does. We'll see what happens here. Let me throw my gloves on. But and I got it right on the line, and I got this pretty dang close to it. I'm just gonna start out real easy. But like I said, I cut this one. It's 2-inch. I didn't cut that line there. And we'll see what we can do here. I've never done this before, so we're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna start out easy there, and I'll just go back and forth. The reason I want to do it in 2-inch, let me readjust that a little. The reason I want to do it in 2-inch is less welding. You know what I'm saying? Be less welding. and having to fix with Bondo down the road. Less welding, less grinding, everything. Anything to make it a little better. But it don't have to be bent up no whole lot. It ain't got a. I don't know exactly the exact degree of it, but I'll look at that other one here in a second and we'll compare. Maybe getting close. It might be getting close. Mm-hmm. One thing I noticed, I didn't put this all the way to the edge, and it's not exactly 2 inches wide, so it's not breaking it as sharp out here on this end. Don't look like. May have to do a little work to it. I'll lay the other one up here on it. See what we're looking like. Come on. Lay the other one up here. I may have bent it too far anyway. I may not have to go that far with it. Yeah, I don't have to bend it that far. This one here's not bent up as far as I've bent that, so I can take and bend it back a little bit. I think that's going to work. I think it's going to work. So I can bend these back just a hair. It ain't got to be bent up as far as I bent it. I can bend it back just a little. But I think if I follow that line all the way around there, I'll go ahead and do them. But I believe I can do it in 2 inch. Like I said, it'd be, less welding, less grinding, whole 9 yards. Less work. I'm all about less work. That there, right there where I've been at that piece there, it needs a little hammer dolly work doing to it. That's awful. I'll still come back with it a little bit. I won't bend them others up as much. We're just going to creep up on it, sneak up on it, as they say. But you see what I got going on there. I ain't going to bore you with doing the rest of them. You see what I got going on. I'll do the rest of these just 1 inch since I've already got them cut. And I'll just, from there on out, I'll do them in 2 inch. Looks like it's going to work. What I may have to do, though, is, like I said, it didn't get as sharp out here where this little buck or whatever you want to call it wasn't all the way out to the end of it. So I may have to move it back and forth with my pliers or my vice grips as I'm bending. These right here all work pretty good. I'll have to split that one right there, right here. I didn't split it up to the line. Then I'm going to have to add on out here. Probably what I'll do, I'll just take me a piece of metal and bend it around that curve, close to the same width as that other one, and just have to weld it to it. And I still got some pieces on the back side, so I got plenty of metal to weld to where I plated up to that back here. And I'll have plenty more metal to weld to, then I'll just have to weld it and grind it. But I think it's gonna work. So, like I said, I ain't gonna bore you with doing all these others. I'll just show you what it looks like when we get done. But man, we're getting awful close to having this sucker ready for some Bondo, a little bit of body filler and a lot of sanding, priming, and you know how that goes. So here we go. Well, I got all of them pretty much bent up except for the corners. Of course, I left this corner, and I got in a hurry the other day and cut all this off. Shouldn't have, but I don't think it's going to hurt me. As a matter of fact, I may wind up having to cut that corner off too and making it out of one long piece and bend it around there and lay it in there and weld it and then go in from the back side and weld it. I may have to do that. The only way I see I can do this is either take and cut my little brake down to say a 1/2 inch or less, where I can bend that a little tighter, I can't do it in 1-inch increments. Be too much, I think, for the radius. But it's laying there pretty good. I got these bent up a little bit too far. I've already laid this one up in here. I got this end matching pretty good. I need to bend them back a little further. But one thing I did, I took a measuring tape, and because this out in here doesn't really matter. You know, this radius is not near as tight as that radius. It's easy to see. The only thing that really matters is how these corners are going to fit to the A pillars, and they're exact. They're exact copy on both sides, and then how this goes up to where the trim lays and bolts up to the windshield, to this piece up here, up close to the windshield. And so what I done, I took a measuring tape. It's kind of hard to do me holding my camera. I'll just tell you what I did. I took a measuring tape. I measured from that point to the center hole right here on both sides. And I already know where my center, I got it marked with an arrow. And I measured from that point. It's 25 inches. And I got exactly 20. I got exact same measurement from there to there. And then from out there back to here again. So I know it's going to fit, or at least I feel 99.9% sure it's going to fit. All I got to do is just kind of finish these up. I'm going to have to, like I said, I'm going to weld them up from the back side. And this don't show. I'll show you. Come over here, I'll show you. Up in the truck, there ain't really good light in here, but see this piece of trim. It's kind of hard to see because there ain't no light in here, but that piece of trim goes over top of that. And then that black fiber board, headliner board, sandwiches in between that and that piece that's going in here, like I was showing you. So that's not even going to show. So what I may do is just weld these up good, maybe just a couple of spots on the back side and grind them down flat. And I'll just fill that in with some good old Bondo. These aren't exactly perfect. I may make, what I may do is lay this down on my table. I got a wood block I'm holding this up with, supporting it with. What I may do is lay it down on the table and take this and then take a hammer, because that's got a good sharp point to it. It ain't perfectly sharp. It's got a little bit bluntness to it. And lay it up on the table and let that block of wood hold that other side up and beat them corners in where they'll be a little more closer together. See how there's not just perfect, but they're close enough. I believe it's going to work. So we're getting really close to getting this thing done. Friday night, think I'm going to go in, grab a bite of supper, and come back up here. I am working. I'm just kind of jumping back and forth a little bit on this, and while I've been off and working on my shop, I am working on flooring, making me an attic, how you say it, attic, up in my shop. So what I'm doing, I'm laying in 2x4s, and I'm putting insulation on top of the 2x4s. Then I'm cutting out and laying this OSB board on top of that and screwing it in with some drywall screws over it. So I'm insulating and putting part of it floor. I'm not going to floor the whole shop, the whole attic. Just that may be as far as I go. I've already got over there done, and I've got up there done. And that's just some extra storage for me to put my car parts, truck parts, get them up out of the way where I got more floor room, down here in the shop to work. Like I've said in the past, I want to get Carter's truck in here where we can work on it. That way we can work on both of them at the same time. And I know he's wanting to get back on it. So we got a little done today on camera. I got to a little more work to do to this, but we're getting really close to having it done. Got my machinist toolbox cleaned up a little bit, except down there, that's a bunch of caster wheels I've been collecting over the years. I'm going to build some stuff with those. Got some project for my caster wheels, so I'm not going to drag that out, clean that up. It really don't matter. So anyway, I guess we're looking good, and we'll just see what happens next. So anyhow, we got a little done today. got my little toolbox that holds all my machine tooling, whatever you want to call it. Got it cleaned up a little bit. That was a plus. I've been wanting to do that for a long time. We got a little done on the dash. I keep calling it a dash. It's a header panel. I know. I've got dash insert on the brain for some reason, but because that's something I need to be inside actually working on is getting some of that stuff packaged so we can get it out of here. I may work on that the rest of the night, but we're making progress on this old header panel. Tomorrow, going to get something tomorrow. I think Raleigh and Carter and me are going over to my old buddy Tim. We've done a little trading and going to go get something for old Miss Betty out here. So stay tuned. We're going to go do that. That's going to be a tomorrow project. So I appreciate y'all watching. I'd appreciate it if you would like, comment, and subscribe. And y'all have a great day, what's left of it, night, whatever you want to call it. Good Lord be with you and yours. And we'll see you next time.